I could hear the shame in Robert's voice when he told me what happened. He'd just come back from a funeral, one of his oldest friends. Guy he'd known since college. They'd been in each other's weddings, raised kids together, and Robert was asked to say a few words at the service. He didn't write anything down, figured he would just speak from the heart. After all, he'd done plenty of eulogies over the years. So he gets up in front of everyone, the whole church is packed. Friends, family, people who flew in from across the country. And Robert starts talking about his friend, sharing a story from their college days. But mid-sentence, he goes to say his friend's wife's name, a woman he's known for 40 years. And it was just gone. He freezes. Tries to keep talking, but he's lost his train of thought entirely now. He's scanning his brain desperately, trying to find her name. Meanwhile, the whole church is silent, staring at him, waiting, and he just can't recover. He mutters something like, "Sorry, I'm sorry," and he sits back down. Didn't finish the story, didn't finish the eulogy, just sat there while everyone else got up and took over. The widow came up to him afterward, hugged him, told him it was okay, that her husband would have understood. And Robert said that moment, her grace and her kindness somehow made it worse because it confirmed what he'd been terrified of. Everyone saw it. Everyone knew something was wrong. My name is Dr. Jesse Ropat, and for the last 15 years, I've worked in cognitive health and brain optimization. I work with people who are terrified they're losing their minds. People like Robert, sharp, capable people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s who are suddenly blanking on names, forgetting why they're walking into a room, or losing their train of thought mid-sentence. And I used to think this was just normal aging. That's what we're taught in medical school. Your brain slows down, memory fades, it's inevitable. But when Robert told me his story, and when I saw the devastation in his eyes, I knew something else was going on. This wasn't Alzheimer's, this wasn't dementia, it was something simpler and way more fixable. Because right around that time, a groundbreaking study was released. So I dug into the new research. And what I found changed everything I thought I knew about memory loss. Because here's what nobody's telling you. This isn't necessarily Alzheimer's. It wasn't in Robert's case. It's not some slow, irreversible decline. What's happening is way simpler. Your brain is literally running out of fuel. Here's what I mean. Your brain is 2% of your body weight, but burns through 20% of your energy. It's a fuel hog. And that fuel, it's called ATP. And when you were younger, your brain refueled ATP in milliseconds. So you could instantly pull up a name, no lag, no searching. But as you get older, that refueling process takes 2 to 3 seconds. And that's the blank you feel. Your brain's trying to fire the neurons, but it's like cranking a car with a dying battery. Nothing happens. And that's the gap. That 2 to 3 second delay is the blank you feel when you can't pull up a name. Your brain is trying to fire the neurons that hold that memory, but it's trying to start a car with a dying battery. You're cranking and cranking, but nothing is happening. By the time the fuel regenerates and the neurons finally fire, that moment's already passed. You've already fumbled the introduction, already felt the embarrassment. The damage is done. And here's what makes this so brutal. This isn't happening once in a while. It's happening dozens of times a day. Every time your brain needs to recall a name or follow a detailed conversation or remember why you walked into the kitchen, your brain burns ATP. And if you can't refuel fast enough, you get that blank and the frustration that comes along with it. And it's not that you're losing your mind, it's that your brain ran out of gas in that exact moment. Think of it like a high-performance computer. All your files are intact. Your hardware is fine. The software in your brain works perfectly, but the battery's dying, so everything slows down. Everything gets harder. Not because the machine is broken, but because it doesn't have enough power. Once you understand that, it becomes obvious why nothing you've tried has worked. For example, a lot of my patients tried taking ginkgo biloba, and it does increase blood flow to the brain, which sounds good, right? But blood flow isn't the problem. Your brain's getting plenty of oxygen, plenty of glucose. The issue is it can't convert that into usable energy fast enough. It's like turning up water pressure when your hose is full of holes. And then there's fish oil, which is popular because it supports brain structure. And sure, it's great for long-term health as well, but it's like polishing the body of a car while the engine keeps stalling. And look, I love brain training apps for your neural pathways, but you're training pathways that don't have energy to function under pressure. It's like practicing sprints while you're exhausted. The skills just don't transfer. And of course, we can't forget the prescription drug Prevagen. Problem is, it uses a jellyfish protein that can't even cross into your brain. Every single solution misses the real problem, which is your brain's fuel system is too slow. So I started digging deeper, looking for research that actually addressed the root issue, not just the symptoms. Then, in February of 2024, I came across a study published in Nature that made my jaw drop. If you're not familiar, Nature is the Mount Everest of scientific journals. Getting published there means your research survived the most brutal peer review on the planet. Here's what these researchers did. They gave healthy adults a single dose of one compound. Then they measured what happened to their brains. Not over weeks or months, but within hours. And what they saw was stunning. Using advanced brain imagery, they watched the brain's energy reserves increase in real time. They measured something called phosphocreatine rising in the brain. That's the backup fuel that your neurons store for high demand moments. They weren't guessing based on surveys or self-reports, they were watching it happen in real time. And the results matched what they saw on the imaging. Better performance during mental fatigue, faster processing speed, and sharper working memory, all from a single dose. And the compound? Creatine monohydrate. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, isn't that the stuff bodybuilders use? Yes, it's technically the same compound. But here's what most people don't know. Creatine isn't just for muscles. Your brain uses the same exact energy system your muscles do. And while bodybuilders figured out decades ago that creatine helps muscles perform under stress, neuroscientists have been quietly proving it does the same thing for your brain. The research has been there for years. Studies showing creatine improves memory, sharpens focus, protects cognitive function as you age. For example, institutions like the Cleveland Clinic acknowledge the benefits of taking creatine for brain health. The mechanism is crystal clear, and the research is published in top-tier journals. Your doctor just hasn't caught up yet. Here's what happens when you take creatine. First, it absorbs into your bloodstream and then crosses the blood-brain barrier so your brain can actually use it. This floods into your neurons like premium fuel being pumped into a high-performance engine. Once it's inside, your brain converts it into phosphocreatine, which is like a reserve fuel tank that sits ready for the moment your neurons need a burst of energy. That way, when you go to pull up a name or track a conversation or remember why you walked into a room, your brain doesn't have to wait 2 or 3 seconds for ATP to regenerate. It pulls from the phosphocreatine reserves instantly. That's why people feel the difference within hours of taking this stuff. Now, creatine alone isn't the complete answer because the ATP gap isn't just one issue. It's a cascade of problems that come with it. Slow fuel regeneration, inefficient energy flow, poor communication between neurons, stress hormones damaging your progress, plus long-term protection needs. To address all of that, you need a complete formula. And since there was nothing out there that addressed these root issues, I created one myself. I call it memory fuel. First, 5,000 milligrams of creatine monohydrate. This is the foundation. It's the fuel for your brain. It's what closes the 2 to 3 second gap between when you need a memory and when your brain can actually access it. Most creatine supplements are dosed for athletes. That's only 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams for muscles. But we included 5,000 milligrams, the dose that actually works for your brain. Next, 200 milligrams of L-theanine. You've got energy now, but if you're stressed, your brain burns through it like a wildfire. L-theanine creates calm focus, helping your neurons fire smoothly instead of burning fuel in a panic. So you're alert, but relaxed. Then 300 milligrams of choline bitartate. You see, memories are stored in networks and webs of neurons that need to talk to each other. And they communicate using a chemical messenger called acetylcholine. But as you age, your brain runs out of raw materials to make it. Choline is that raw material. Flood your system with it and your memory networks fire faster. Plus 300 milligrams of magnesium glycinate. Every time you draw a memory blank, your body dumps cortisol into your system. And cortisol wrecks everything. It damages brain cells, kills your sleep, triggers inflammation, but magnesium regulates the stress response so cortisol doesn't spike every time you face a cognitive challenge. Also, vitamin D3. Why? Because Cleveland Clinic research ties adequate D3 levels to a 40% lower risk of dementia. Plus, it reduces brain inflammation and supports your brain's immune defenses It also helps regulate neurotransmitter production. Besides, most people over 60 are deficient in vitamin D3 anyway. And finally, vitamin B12. B12 keeps the protective coating on your neurofibers intact, so signals travel fast. It also helps your mitochondria produce ATP more efficiently. And again, most people over 60 have subclinical B12 deficiency. This tops you off so your whole system runs cleaner. All right, so those are the 6 ingredients, and the magic happens when these 6 ingredients work together. Here's what happens when you take all of them at the same time. Within hours, the creatine and L-theanine kick in. You notice the first reduction in those memory blanks. Your recall feels snappier, and within days, the phosphocreatine stores build up. The choline supports faster neuron communication, and magnesium starts regulating your stress response. You're consistently sharper. That 2 p.m. brain fog, it starts lifting. And within weeks, D3 reduces inflammation, and B12 optimizes efficiency. The whole system is firing on all cylinders. This is when family starts commenting. You seem more like yourself. You're sharper lately. Within months, neural pathways are protected, cognitive reserve is rebuilding, and the fear fades, and you start re-engaging in things you've been avoiding. You feel like you again. Look, this isn't something you have to convince yourself is working. This is measurable and noticeable. And I know because I've seen the difference in my patients. And I want you to hear from real people who've experienced this transformation. Not paid actors, real customers with real results and real stories. Like Thomas R., a 66-year-old retired engineer who said every afternoon around 2 p.m., brain fog would roll in, so I'd write off the rest of the day. Now, I'm reading complex engineering journals at 3 p.m. and actually comprehending them. It's like going from a dying laptop battery to being plugged in all day. Or Margaret S., a 68-year-old retired accountant who told us, my daughter would call with updates about the grandkids, but I'd be completely lost halfway through. But after 2 weeks on this stuff, I'm tracking everything. Days later, I'd call her back and reference specific details from our conversation. She actually asked me, Mom, are you taking notes during our calls? No notes, dear, just a brain that actually works again. And Robert M., a 72-year-old retired high school principal, he shared this story. I was avoiding my 50th high school reunion because I knew I wouldn't remember names. I tried Prevagen, Ginkgo, fish oil, brain training apps, hundreds of dollars wasted. But after 3 weeks of taking this, I went to the reunion anyway. And I remembered names I hadn't thought of in decades. First and last names. My old army buddy, his wife's name, his kids' names. People kept saying, Robert, your memory is incredible. Now, we've had over 3,200 people try this formula. And you want to know the most common thing they tell us? Not my memory improved 23%, not my processing speed increased, just I got myself back. That's it. That's the whole ball game. Now I want you to imagine something with me. It's 60 days from now, you're at a family gathering, maybe it's a birthday, maybe it's just Sunday dinner, doesn't really matter. And your grandson is telling you about his science project. Complex stuff about cellular biology, the kind of thing that would have made your eyes glaze over a few months ago. But instead of nodding along and pretending to follow, you're actually engaged because something he said triggered a memory from your own career 30 years ago. Some relevant story, complete with names, dates, technical details, and you share it smoothly. No searching for words, no blanks where a name should be, no hesitation. Your family leans in and now they're engaged, fully present with you. And across the table, your daughter catches your wife's eye. That look, the one that says, Dad's really back. That night lying in bed, something hits you. You haven't had creeping anxiety about Alzheimer's in weeks. You haven't made an excuse to avoid a social situation because you were worried about embarrassing yourself. You haven't felt that horrible flush of shame from forgetting something obvious. Your brain feels like a reliable partner again, not a traitor, and you feel like yourself again. That's not some fantasy I'm painting for you. That's what happens when you close the ATP gap. And here's exactly how you get there. So here's how you can get there for yourself. If you bought these 6 ingredients separately at the doses that actually work for your brain, you'd spend over $100 a month. Plus, you'd be taking 6 different pills, hoping you got the timing right and praying there's no weird interactions. Memory Fuel gives you everything in one formula. Clinical doses, research-backed ingredients, pharmaceutical grade standards, all at a fraction of that cost. The normal retail price is $89 per month. And honestly, that's more than fair when you consider what you're getting. But I remember what it's like to be desperate, skeptical, and worried about throwing more money away on a solution that won't work. I remember people telling me they'd spent hundreds on Prevagen and felt like fools when it did nothing. So here's what we've decided to do. For people watching this presentation, we're making Memory Fuel available for just $49 per bottle. That's $40 off the normal retail price, which is less than a cup of coffee per day. But here's where it gets even better with our package options. But here's the most important part. Our 90-day Feel Sharper or It's Free money-back guarantee. Try Memory Fuel for a full 90 days. If you're not experiencing faster recall, less brain fog, better conversation tracking, more confidence in social situations, if you're not feeling like yourself again, contact our customer service team and we'll refund every single penny. No questions asked, no hassles. Heck, you can even keep the bottles. But why 90 days instead of the typical 30 or 60? Because I want you to experience the full transformation before you decide. By day 30, you'll notice real changes. By day 60, your family will comment on how sharp you seem. By day 90, you'll wonder how you ever lived without this. So here's what it comes down to. You're risking nothing. But if you don't try this, you're risking another year of blanking on names, another year of your kids exchanging that look when you lose your train of thought, another year wondering if this is just how it's gonna be from now on. That's the real risk. So take the 90 days, give it a real shot, and then decide. So here's where we are. You've got two paths in front of you. Path one, do nothing. Keep experiencing those terrifying blanks, keep avoiding social situations because you're afraid of embarrassing yourself. Keep lying away at 3 a.m. wondering if this is early Alzheimer's, and watch your family continue to see you fade. Path two, try Memory Fuel completely risk-free for 90 days. Risk nothing with the guarantee, but gain the possibility of getting yourself back. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've tried so much already. Prevagen, ginkgo, brain games, all of it. I get it. But here's what all of those things have in common. They were treating the symptoms. None of them touched the actual problem, which is ATP regeneration. Memory Fuel targets the root cause. The 2024 Nature study proves it, the Cleveland Clinic acknowledges it, and over 3,200 real people have experienced it. Here's what you need to understand. The ATP gap is widening every single day you wait. The cognitive flexibility that you have right now, today, is the most you'll ever have in your life. This isn't about our inventory. This is about your window of opportunity. And that window is closing. The best time to close your ATP gap was 5 years ago. The second best time is right now. Click the button below to choose your package. I recommend the 3-month supply for the complete transformation cycle, or the 6-month supply for maximum savings and long-term protection. We'll rush it to your door with fast shipping. And remember, you're protected by our 90-day satisfaction guarantee. You're not risking anything, but you stand to gain everything. Your sharp mind, your confidence, your independence, yourself. Don't let another day go by feeling like you're disappearing. Don't let another embarrassing blank chip away at who you are. And don't let fear about Alzheimer's steal one more night of sleep. The solution is here, the research is solid, and the choice is yours. Click the button below now. Frequently asked questions. Question 1. How long does it take to feel a difference? Well, most people notice improvements within the first few hours. You might find yourself recalling names easier or faster, experiencing less afternoon brain fog, or tracking conversations more easily. But the full transformation happens over 60 to 90 days as your brain's energy systems fully optimize. That's why we offer a 90-day guarantee instead of the typical 30 or 60. We want you to get the complete results before you decide. Question 2. I've tried Prevagen, ginkgo, fish oil, and brain training apps. How is this different? It's simple. Those products were treating symptoms, blood flow, brain structure, neural pathways. Memory Fuel targets the root cause, which is your ATP regeneration in your brain cells. It's the difference between putting a Band-Aid on a broken bone versus actually setting the bone so it can heal properly. The 2024 Nature study proved that creatine supplementation directly increases brain ATP levels by 5 to 15%. That's measurable energy production, not some vague support claim. Question 3, is this safe to take with my other medications? Well, Memory Fuel contains natural, research-backed ingredients that are generally recognized as safe. That being said, we always recommend consulting with your doctor before starting any new supplement, especially if you're already taking medications or if you have existing health concerns. That way, your doctor can review the ingredient list and confirm that there are no interactions with your specific medications. Next question, what if it doesn't work for me? Well, then you get every penny back. There's no questions asked. You have a full 90 days to try Memory Fuel risk-free. If you're not experiencing sharper recall, less brain fog, better mental clarity, just contact our customer service team. We'll refund your entire purchase. You can even keep the bottles. We're not interested in keeping money from people who didn't get the results they wanted. We only win if you win. Next question, do I need to take this forever? Here's the honest answer. Your brain's energy demands don't go away. The ATP gap is a chronic issue that gets worse with age if you don't address it. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't brush your teeth for 90 days and then stop because your teeth are fixed. You keep brushing because you want to maintain healthy teeth. Same principle here. Most of our customers stay on Memory Fuel long term because they never want to go back to how they felt before. The mental clarity, the confidence, the feeling of being themselves again, that's worth maintaining. But you're not locked into anything. There's no subscription, there's no automatic charges. You order when you want, however much you want. Next question. Why haven't I heard about this before? Well, it's simple, because the connection between creatine and brain ATP wasn't definitively proven until that 2024 Nature study. Before that, creatine was mostly known as a muscle supplement for bodybuilders. Most people, including doctors, had no idea it could cross the blood-brain barrier and regenerate cognitive energy. The research is still relatively new, which means you're getting in early on a scientifically validated solution before it becomes mainstream. Next question, can I just take regular creatine from the gym? You could, but you'd be missing 5 critical ingredients that work synergistically with creatine to maximize your brain ATP production. Plus, most creatine supplements are formulated for muscle energy, not brain energy. The dosing, the delivery mechanism, the supporting ingredients, none of it is optimized for cognitive performance. Memory Fuel was specifically designed for brain ATP regeneration. Every ingredient, every dose, every ratio. It's the difference between using a butter knife to perform surgery versus an actual scalpel designed for the job. Next question, what's your return policy? Well, we have a 90-day money-back guarantee, period. Try it for the full 90 days, and if you're not satisfied for any reason, just contact us. We'll refund your purchase in full. There's no forms to fill out, no hoops to jump through, no restocking fees or other sneaky charges. Just a simple, straightforward refund. Next question, how do I take Memory Fuel? Take 1 scoop daily with water, preferably with a meal. And for best results, take it consistently at the same time each day. Morning is ideal for most people because you'll benefit from the mental clarity throughout the day. Question, are there any side effects? Memory Fuel is made with natural, research-backed ingredients that are generally well tolerated. Some people report mild digestive upset when first starting, but that usually resolves in the first few days. And taking it with food can help minimize that. Now, creatine can cause slight water retention in some people, which is completely normal and harmless. As with any supplement, if you experience any unusual symptoms, just stop using it and consult your healthcare provider. Question, what if I forget to take it some days? Life happens, don't stress too much about it. For the best results, try to take it consistently. But if you miss a day here and there, just start your normal schedule the next day. The benefits are cumulative over time, so the occasional missed dose won't ruin your progress. Question, why should I trust you? Honestly, you shouldn't. At least not yet. You should trust the research, the 2024 Nature study, the Cleveland Clinic findings, and the 3,200 people who've actually experienced real results. But most importantly, you should trust our 90-day money-back guarantee. We're not asking you to trust us and hope for the best. We're asking you to try it risk-free and let the results speak for themselves. If it works, great. If it doesn't, you get your money back. As simple as that.